Hi, Dawn. I thought it might help to record an example of reorienting, just to be walked through. I don't know how familiar you are with this, so if it helps to have, a presence to walk you through and you pause and you think and you return to it, then here it is. Okay, so my very first signal, then I need to reorient away from the dream I'm making with my fearful thoughts toward what is real and here and present, and that can be expressed through everyone and everything. So the happy dream, away from my nightmare toward the happy dream that spirit provides. So my first signal is I don't feel good. I feel tension. I feel stress. I feel doubt. I feel uncertainty. I practice a lot, and I need to practice a lot, and that's okay. So the feeling is the first signal that I need to reorient. And if I don't pay attention to the signal, it means I'm going to continue as I have. So the more tired we get of the dream and what seems to be around us, if I continue as I have, I'll judge everyone and everything and think anyone or anything in the dream can be the cause of my distress. But that's not true at all. Not at all, like not remotely. So once I realize I'm the cause of my distress, I really have a lot of motivation to stop every single time I feel it. And then what do I know about the distress? I know it came about because I believed a thought from ego. So that's my part in it. It's like I invented ego is the metaphor I'm given. And ego is nothing at all and never happened, but I imagined I invented ego, and because I believe the thoughts ego sends to me, it's like a little machine I set up to deliver to me all these thoughts of untruth, and the world I see and experience is the result, like death itself or sickness itself is the result of that. I see and experience that in myself and others because I believe the thoughts that ego is giving me. I project fear outward, and I make the world of my experience. But through learning to reorient, I allow Holy Spirit to show me the happy dream, the world the Holy Spirit substitutes for the world I make by projecting out fear. So the reason I reorient many times a day is to get into the space where I can allow Holy Spirit to deliver unto me and everyone the world that shows us what's permanent and beautiful and steady and peaceful about everyone and everything. So we cease projecting fear and we allow the extension of love from us to everyone, from everyone and everything to us, and everyone and everything all over the place. So it's reorientation from projection to extension. And the more we get used to extension, we trust it. And it may seem to take a long time to approach it and trust it and allow it on a consistent basis. But I find each time I practice, I feel that extension of love, and it gets easier and easier. And that becomes my happiness. Not something happening in time and space that would make an ego pleased or happy, but feeling rooted in the space where we extend love, peace, and joy to everyone and everything, and knowing, remembering, as your true self, that this is the reality of all of us, the relief and the happiness of that. That's happiness. That's coming home. That's finding your true self, which is eternally connected to the true self of your dog. And also, we'll just throw in everyone and everything at the same time. You're connected in joy to everyone and everything. And that's why we keep reorienting toward that, to allow the world that the Holy Spirit has made for us as a substitute for our nightmare to be delivered to us, like the greatest gift we could ever accept. And when do we have the chance to accept that? In every moment when we notice we're oriented toward the ego. So my feeling distress means, I'm oriented toward the ego again, and I can see entirely why that's a bad idea. I need to reorient toward what I am with everyone and everything with no separation, toward Spirit, toward Holy Spirit, who can deliver to us when we allow it, the dream that shows us the truth of how we're all connected in love. Okay, that was a lot, but it's important that I understand what the feeling means. It tells me where I'm facing. And the simplicity, I know I talk a lot, but the simplicity of this is, if I'm facing in the wrong direction, I can learn the right direction, and I can learn how to turn in the right direction quite quickly and easily. Why? Because I practice a lot. It does take practice. If you notice there are 365 lessons, and it's about practice and repetition. Okay. So I found a feeling. Let's say I feel distressed. And let's say, I take a moment, I'm acknowledging the feeling. So I'm not going to ignore the feeling or try to push down, suppress the feeling. I have to notice I'm facing in the wrong direction. I need to face in the right direction. Because if I keep pushing down feelings, I just never turn around. It's like my one responsibility, to accept the atonement for myself. So I've got to turn around and face in the right direction and reorient toward what connects us all. That's my responsibility, to face toward my actual happiness instead of toward a happiness that ego promises me. I'll be happy if thus and such happens or doesn't happen in time and space. Or I'll be happy if I can have thus and such in time and space. We turn toward the eternal, and we remember that as our happiness. So, so I feel distressed, and I imagine there's a thread from that feeling going to the thought. And there's at least one thought I believe about this situation that concerns me. And maybe it's I believe my dog is not okay. And it's okay to speak those words, to think them, to write them down. If you've come from a past where you think like to speak a thought is to make something bad come into being, if you notice, we already have time and space. We already did that. we already confused ourselves pretty thoroughly. So don't worry about that. Check, it's done. The reason to bring one single thought into prominence, like my dog might not be okay, is not to make that happen. It is to put it in the light, or to hand it to Jesus, or to give it to the Holy Spirit. On my journey, I have practiced I've had many different metaphors given to me as I practiced. For quite a long time, I would take the thought and I would drop it into a lake of light, and then I would see nothing but light. I would give it to a servant on a tray, like the holy servant. I'd put the thought on a tray and the servant would take the thought away. You might not be visual, you might not get metaphors like that, but as you practice, something is going to happen where symbols get used to help you practice, the symbols of time and space, and that will take whatever form it does. So I can tell you how I practice, but as you practice, your practice is going to take its own right form for you, its own perfect form for you. I'm just, even though I seem to be taking a long time to say it, I'm giving you the basics. Okay, so I reorient towards Spirit, and now I've set my thought down. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to make it go away. I don't have to think another specific thought about a dog or about the situation. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is remember somehow what's real about all of us and what we have supporting us and what world we can accept instead of the world we make with the projection of our fearful thoughts. That's all I have to remember and reorient toward in this moment. And practicing in this way, excuse me, brings in the moment-to-moment guidance that during the day helps me be aware of what should I think, what should I do, what should I say. So I'm putting the time in here, and then seemingly later, Holy Spirit will come in and guide me. Why? Because I've opened up a pathway and a doorway by stopping to practice. So now I've put that thought down in some way, and I'm reorienting toward, let me perceive no differences today. And how does that help me feel better? Because everywhere I look, toward everyone and everything, if I look behind the time and space surface of it, there's actually nothing but undifferentiated light. So in the world I make by projecting my fearful thoughts, some things look attractive and some things look unattractive, some things look safe and some things look dangerous, some things look happy and some things look sad. But when I really start to remember who we all are, oh my goodness, there's no difference. There's no difference. And I can just give thanks for that and stop and let it flow, However light wants to form itself in this situation, let it do it, because light has the wisdom to take the form that assists all of us. We're really only looking at light all day, but my fearful thoughts distort it into fearful forms. So what Holy Spirit does when we give Holy Spirit permission is Holy Spirit finds a way of using form to say, look, child, you're okay, you're safe, you're loved, and furthermore, everyone is safe and loved. So when I stop to reorient, that's what I do. I realize, wow, I've been distorting light into fearful forms, and I feel fatigued and worn out from that. And then here's Holy Spirit with the substitute world. And Holy Spirit says, that's fine. Let you perceive no differences today, because I will take the light and show you how loved and supported you all are. And all you have to do is accept the atonement for yourself. Come to this place of light, give up the distortion, and accept what would reassure you deeply and show you how much you and all are loved in every second. And are we going to feel doubt on this path? Yes. So then we're going to reorient again. And as we reorient, it just gets easier and easier and easier to remember the truth of us all and to be deeply reassured by that. And that is so much different than trying to make something specific happen in the dream. To accept the atonement for ourselves, to allow light to be in charge, because that's what we are, and that's what everyone and everything is behind its surface. A deep trust starts to form, and it gets stronger and stronger, and it's a trust we can share. So that's how it is for me. I hope something in here is helpful, and of course I'm wishing you and your dog very well. Thank you.